Hello, friends, we meet again. This is Mary, and you're watching another little piece of my heart. So, today I thought it would be a lot of odds and ends, kind of jibbery jabbery, this and that kind of thing. Um, because I haven't really colored much per se. Well, let me see what's over here. I have like one picture that I completed recently, and then another one that is in progress, has been in progress. Uh, Also, I have some food in the oven. So if that beeps, I'll pause. And of course, you know, my crazy dog. So there's all those things. And so I just want to touch base with you. My son will be coming in, what is today? The 8th. Today's the day of the eclipse. And back home in Ohio, he got to see the complete totality of it. So that was cool. I was happy for him. Anyways, so he'll be coming in 2 weeks, I think it is. So I will be, doing some cleaning and all that kind of stuff. It's getting warm now, more beach, So my videos are going to be probably not along the same lines as like constant hauls or whatever. But I'll try to do things still frequently. It'll just be different things and probably more shorts for a while. And then I have to go, I told you guys, I have to go to Ohio in late July because my daughter's due August the 1st. But my granddaughter's birthday party is on July the 27th, which is not her birthday, but my wedding anniversary. So that's kind of cool, except for my hubby can't come. Yeah, I don't know how long I'll be there. Just, first time babies are unpredictable. So I doubt there'll be much filming there except for shorts or whatever. So what I'm just saying is I'm just going to film when I get the urge to film and show you guys what I'm doing, thinking, and, it'll be less of a, it's always going to be this, and this. So the only thing I really colored lately was in the menagerie, okay? And I colored the lemur. Let me back you up. Whoops. See, I had the wrong way. I colored the lemur, and I did not enjoy coloring the lemur because this red here that I was using that I really liked ran out. So the rest of the lemur is not that color. I tried to come close in some spots, but I could not. But, it's still a fun book, and I really love these books. And so I've showed you guys, I did the rabbit one year at Easter time. Maybe it's better close. I did the rabbit one year at Easter time, and you can't tell, but there's glaze pens on there, so some of it's raised. And I also did, which I did post to my Instagram. I don't always post everything to my Instagram because I always feel like everything should be perfect or, close enough or buddy colored. But I did post him because I liked the way that he turned out. So I went with my original idea of making part of his fur leaves, which maybe they are. Maybe he's like poking through a bush. I don't know, but they looked leafy to me. And so let me move this light. And so they are now leaves. And it was a very enjoyable picture to work on. Not gonna lie, I really like this one. Of course, I love orange, I love yellow, so it was fun for me. It was really good. And that made me break my no buy, which, I say no buy, but it just means that I shouldn't, but if I want to, I will. Because, yeah. And I got Mythological. I've been wanting this book for the longest, and, I was getting to that stage of slight paranoia on whether or not it would be available, and I got mine actually on eBay through Goodwill. So if Goodwill would have been selling this book in the Goodwill store, it would have been colored in, and it would have probably been, I don't know, $5.99, $7. I've seen them, just ridiculous. But it's not colored, and I got it for $4. That includes shipping, and you just can't beat that with this stick. So this one has all of the mythological creatures. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Griffins and unicorns, and I mean, I don't even know what some of these things are. But they also, and it also comes with, you know, part of it pre-printed. So I will do a flip through this book, even though there are some on YouTube. And usually I don't flip through stuff that's already there. But, you know, why not? So my phone, well, you know, it's always a thing. So I was showing you guys at one point that when I showed you my small coloring book collection, that, you know, my grandson and I loved using this book and coloring in it. And I feel like this one's kind of like sacred. I mean, I could finish it and do it all, but it will be more meaningful if I wait till he's around and his brother, and like they could color in it with me. So this one's kind of off limitsy. So I wanted to get another one, and I got the Botanic, and I showed you guys that one. But I still had this one laying around that I think I had one page or something done in it. So I started using this one. And I did the front, you know, like cover. I put my picture instead of my address and all that. So if I lose it, it's going to be on the beach. Just look for a girl that looks like that. If you find me, you find me. If you don't, you know. I mean, what are you going to do, right? And so yeah, I'm having a good time using these, and I'm trying to use up a lot of my Sharpie, and I'm trying to use up my gel pen, ridiculous gel pen collection. I didn't color that yet because I wanted to do him in pencils, and I didn't have them with me. So yeah, just fun little, that you can get them done. I mean, you could do more than one a day. They're small. But when I take it with me, I try to decide before I leave what colors I think I'm going to use, and just bring a very small amount. And that helps anyway from not getting too, when you get too many colors, it just doesn't look good. And so I love this one. I have no idea like really what you call that design, but I thought this one came out really super cute, and I really liked it. So I want to do things to them. I'll explain that in a minute. I love a good paisley. I used to wear paisley clothes all the time, and my oldest daughter would tease me, and now what does she like? Paisley clothes, because that's the way that works. I'm going to put a little quote or something right here. Started working on this one, didn't finish it yet. Excuse me. Again, trying to use up some Sharpies. These are obviously purples, and I am not a fan of the purple. So one time I was out, and I had a small watercolor palette with me. So I just did like very, you know, like light wash of color in some of this, and then I was gonna come back and do stuff to the rest of it. This was one of the first ones I did. I did not realize when I put this, like the sticker went perfect in there. Be brave, girl. I didn't realize that they were clear stickers. I should have put her on a piece of white paper and then cut her out, and she would stand out so much more. And I tried getting her off there, but she's really on there. So, you know, lesson learned. You go on. And sometimes I just I'm out. I don't feel like doing coloring. I just write down whatever's going on or whatever I'm thinking. And I love this one. Oh my gosh, I really love this one, this Dreamcatcher. I want to color more Dreamcatchers now, and I don't think I have. I might have a couple in my tattoo books. It's been a while since I have looked through those, but this was a lot of fun. I got to bust out like the metallics, and just, you know, some little bit pencil on the background. It was just fun. Really liked that one. So, this going on here with the girls. This is what I'm telling you about what I'm going to be doing in my big fashion book. It's been a project that I've had on my mind for probably a couple years, and I didn't execute it last summer. I think, oh, there's my food. I'll be right back. My friend dropped off Peeps as well. I cannot eat those. I love Peeps. You know, you open them and put them on top of your refrigerator and forget about them for 3 weeks, and they're nice and brick hard. My teeth say, no, 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 no. Yeah, so anyway, the project with the book, I think what's kept me from doing it is because it's a big book. It's one of my hardcover books, which I'll show you here in a second. And lugging that to the beach would be a lot, and I would be worried about it getting wet. And I was just looking on Temu, and they have these book sleeves. Far be it from me to ever know anything like that everyone else knows automatically, but they have these book sleeves. I'm sure you've seen them in Barnes and Noble or whatever, but they're little plastic zip up thingies you can put books in. So I'm gonna have to get me one of those. But yeah, I want to put the dolls I have on backgrounds that are meaningless, so to speak, other than just the joy that you got when you were coloring it, and then think of some kind of little things for them to say. So let's see, that's what I got going on in here. I finished up that one. It was bad. I mean, there wasn't much I could do to it because it was already way too many colors, but I tried to tie them all in the best I could, and left the background blank. But I think it needs some glitter glue or something interesting. We'll see. And then this is one that was like markers and pencils or crayons or something. I feel like I did this out somewhere with not my own supplies, so I'll have to see if I can finish that. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And this one was a whip, so finish that one. And of course, I love it. Wait, whoops. Oh, this looks like it's still white, but it's not. It's a light blue. Okay. I gotta check myself. That, however, is not done. But anyway. And little bits of paper I've put in there are so like if I write a poem or something that I'm thinking on a piece of paper where I'm somewhere else, I always like tuck them in my purse, and then I find these things for years. So now I've been like putting them into journals to keep a hold of them, even if they're not good, as my poetry instructor would say, revise, revise, revise. And I will say to that, no, you can't make me, you're not my dad. So here's my journal that I take with me all the time. The only reason I have it all, because I had to have some paper when I went to Delaware. Didn't know what I was going to need to write down, so I brought some paper, which I didn't end up needing. And also I find if I keep so in the traveler's notebook world, I don't think this would be passport size. I think it's a little bigger. But it just so happened to be the size that in the Yellow Springs bookstore in Ohio, or art store that I love. It just happened to be the size of the art sketchbooks that they sold, and I bought one, and I loved it so much. The next time we went back there for another street fair, I bought 2 or 3, and then when I knew I was leaving, I bought a few more, and I have them somewhere. But I'm trying to like not use them all up. So when this one's done, I'm moving on to another book, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, the only reason I put these Dollar Tree Traveler's Notebook covers on them is because this is going to get wet at the beach, and going in and out of a purse or a beach bag, it's going to start, the covers are going to start to how things do. So I put it in here, but it actually is like bulky, and so I'm going to try to invent some other situation. Yes, I could use a plastic bag, but something a little prettier. We'll see what I can come up with. But I am almost done. I even did the last page. discovered a different way of doing these bokeh backgrounds. If you want to know how I did it, I'll tell you. But yeah, I got this much left. This much left. And then I will do a flip if you like. There's, you know, serious things in here and fun things in here. I use my coloring book pages sometimes. Especially if I did something that is going to come through. Like on this piece here, I used brown Sharpies, and they came through. So then I cover that next page with a coloring book page, so I can still do art. It's very handy, I'm telling you, it's great. I love this system. But when that is done, I am moving on to this one. And I purchased this at Pop Shelf. And it's called the Pentalic Traveler Pocket Journal. And it's this lovely bronzy gold cover. And it has a pocket in the back, which I find with this one is a problem. There's no pockets, so I tend to stuff things in there and then they fall out. I could use a paper clip, but, you know, I could, but I don't. It has a nice bookmark in there. And the paper is 120 GSM, or whatever you want to call that. So 74-pound paper. It's acid free, it says. So if I want to do any marker drawings, I will have to, you know, this is going to be the same situation. It's definitely thicker than that other paper, but it will be the same situation in terms of bleed through. So I'll have to cover the next page or just not do anything on the next page, because this baby has 160 pages. Yeah, and my regular journal that I'm just finishing, my regular sketchbook, is, I think, this is a brand. If you ever see these, if you're interested in a small sketchbook, would tell me that I did not cover up the brand. I guess I did. That's going to be handy when I try to look it up. Pro Art. There it is at the bottom. But this one is also acid-free, but it had, okay, it's only 65-pound paper. It still took watercolor just fine. 30 sheets. This one only had 30 sheets. So a lot lighter to transport around with you. So that should be interesting. We will see how it works out. And then talking more about sketchbooks. I have this beautiful sketchbook. It's got this like batik pattern on it that my daughter had bought me many moons ago, and I was just doing this type of posting, you know, like post a picture and, you know, just I don't know. I got about a fourth of the way through it, and I just put it away. And so now my thing is, any sketchbook that I have still kept, if it's still in my life, I have got to finish it. I don't care that it started in, what was it, 2010 or something. It started in 2010, and it is now 2024. It's 14 years later. I don't care. I'm going to finish it. So I have been doing this thing. Let me start at the start. And this paper is like Five Below sketchbook paper. It's that weird, almost newsprinty paper. Not much really you can do with it. Anyway, so I saw this YouTuber. Her name is A Comfortable Shoes. Their name, I'm sorry, I don't know, but their name is A Comfortable Shoes Studio. And they were showing, because I think they were involved in that 100-day project, which if I'm not, I haven't looked it up, so I don't know if you have to make 100 faces or if you could just draw for 100 days. I don't know. I did not get myself involved in that because I can barely finish Inktober when it comes around, and I don't have 100 days that I can possibly say guaranteed that I will draw something. Anyway, this person, a Comfortable Shoes Studio, was showing these like blobs that they would do where they would wet the whole paper and then just drop paint down. And then later they turned the blobs into faces. I was immediately fascinated. And I was like, I know how I can use the rest of this book up right now, because that to me is a good time. So I started back there, but I want to show you where it's not been used yet so you can get up the idea of what I'm talking about. So this was all just wet paper. And then mine, it started looking like a face. Like it started the more I went, the more face like I got them to be, because I thought, well, it'll be less work for me in the end. But somehow an animal came out of that. And I did go take marker and go along the backgrounds, so that would be less thing for me to do. Once I add the pencil to this, it's done. Now, understand, they're supposed to be wonky. They're not supposed to be, perfect portraits of people. But as the faces emerge, I was fascinated. Like, when you live in a resort town and you see so many people all the time walking at you, towards you, when you're sitting here or sitting there in restaurants or at the beach, you see so many faces. And it's like, as the faces were emerging, I'm like, oh, this person looks like he works at the Mardi Gras arcade. He's been working there a really long time. And, but he might be retired, but he likes getting out and having something to do every day. So he works there, and he's very quiet and he doesn't bother anyone. Anyways, whole stories, right? Just out of wet paint and blah, blah, blah. You see where even the paint ran together, and that's okay. You fix it all later. And some of my people came out very into, I don't know this guy. This guy must run the rides or something. He's an adrenaline junkie, and he doesn't mind scaring the kids a little bit. Like, it's a little bit okay. But that's what came out on the wet paper. This looks like she's going to be a very little girl. She's running ahead of her parents. It's very sunny. And, maybe she's got some snow cone or something on her face, but she's just happy to be there. Like, so this is what I was doing one night. And just like I said, adding the background with my Crayola Super Tips so I could try to get through those. Here's a really messy guy. I don't know what he's up to, but we'll figure it out. This guy's like off in the distance coming toward me, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, do I know him? No. Like, that's just what it becomes. So these are the ones that I ended up adding pencil to. Like I said, they're not supposed to look like portraits, really. I mean, I guess you could go that far into them. The person who I got the idea from only used, if I can remember correctly, they only used a black marker over whatever blobs they made. And that's how they did their faces, and I didn't want to do mine like that. So, like, this person here turned into my dad. This is my dad in the 70s. He looked like Doug Henning, the magician. Like, that's my dad. He turned into my dad, and that's who it is. And then this just turned into a younger man, like a older teenage guy. And he's walking with his friends, and they've been on the beach all day. And he wasn't wearing any sunscreen. And, he's looking for something to eat or something to drink before he goes home to the hotel. Like, it's just so much fun. So if you guys ever want to see how to do the blobs, those are going to be flowers, you can check out a Comfortable Shoes Studio. Or if you're interested, I can show you how to do it. So that's what I have been doing in there. I showed you this and I have not finished it, but I still have this picture to finish. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that done maybe tonight or tomorrow before my husband's off work again, and we have to go, don't have to, but do our thing, sightseeing and all that stuff like that, swimming and blah, blah, blah. So once I finish that one, then I will have completed 2 whole pages recently. But back to the dolls. So the dolls were, in here. Dolls were in here. No, the dolls were in here. So yeah, here's the dolls. I haven't added any detail, just a little bit of different color on her dress and stuff, because I haven't decided yet how this page is going to end. I get my dolls from here. I call them dolls. This is actually a Life Fashion Through the Ages magazine, and I have had, or coloring book, I have had since the Dollar Tree sold good coloring books, so quite some time. I go through sometimes and I color their skin so that I can use them later. So this is one of the things I get my dolls from. I also get my dolls, or I'm planning to, from the steampunk coloring book. So I did her. Well, I did finish something else. I did her, and I did not finish this because I decided I'm cutting that part out. So she's going to be a doll sitting on something else on my page with her umbrella. So that one's done too. I also get my dolls. So if I want a boy doll, I can get it from this weirdo Lemmy coloring book that I found, because a lot of the Lemmys are like off in a distance. They're far away. So you obviously can't use really close-up ones, but these ones where he's, off in a distance doing something can be my boy dolls. So I have that. I also have magazines to cut out dolls if I don't feel like coloring a doll. I've always been very, very fascinated with paper dolls. It's just one of my, weirdo obsessions. But so this is my fashion coloring book. Literally, that's what it's called, my fashion coloring book by Marie Perron. And this is in the 100, images to color art therapy line. So for like an example, so like I based her skin. Now if I want to color her in however I want to color her in, I will. I can put fashion things. I've got stickers of shoes, dresses. I've got these dolls. Like, I want to make these into cool collages because this book has a lot of open space. So I went ahead and based this girl's face. Some of these are busy, and maybe you wouldn't want to do that, but other ones are not. Look at all of this. I plan on probably writing on there. I also have that David Bowie coloring book where, it's all his fashions, like perfect. So, like, this one was busy. I didn't add anything to it, but shoes, stickers that I had at the bottom. But yeah, it's just all good fun. This lady, she looks very pink, but hey, that was one of the Crayola Colors of the World markers, so apparently that color of skin exists. I don't know. But the paper's pretty good. This one has some watercoloring on it, so you can see it's a little bit bumpy. So I would, you can take an iron to that or flatten it. I have some more prepped. I have some rub-ons. So that's it, guys. I showed you all the little things I'm working on. My dog is barking and I have to go see why. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next vlog or whatever we do. Take care.